Most common cost and price content mistakes, not putting a pricing estimator on that page. Not allowed within the endless customer system anymore. They produced the signals that said to AI, this is who I can trust. AI is taking more things beyond text and showing it in their search results. So you notice they're starting to show you video. They're starting to show you graphics. They're showing you way more stuff. This is great. In the book, we have what is the perfect pricing page. And as I was building this out, I realized I've already added a couple to the list. By the way, if you did ask me, it'd probably be about accurate because that's how fast things are changing. And one of the struggles that Bob and I had as we were looking at the book was how do we keep it accurate for at least 5 years? That was the constant struggle. And I feel like we did that. I feel like it's very principle driven. I'm going to read the 15. You at your seat right now, knowing that you have, most of you, not all of you, but most of you, have a cost page on your site at this point. I want you to number it 1 through 15, and then I want you to just put a check or an X. And we're gonna see if you can get 15 checks. I think there's 15 boxes. Everybody ready for this? All right, here we go. On your pricing page, do you have the factors that drive the cost of your product or service up in detail? Number 2, do you have the factors that drive the price down? Number 3, what makes some companies so expensive in your space? So you really explain why some companies are so, quote, high end. Number 4, what makes some companies so cheap in your space? Some of you deal with very low cost competitors, but they don't come close to offering the thing that you offer. Do you explain that well? Number 5, where do your prices fall within a range, roughly speaking? Number 6, explain variations in industry packaging levels, etc. Now, let me explain what that means. One of the best ways that you can do a pricing page or pricing video is by taking your industry and defining it in 3 or 4 levels. So as a pool company, I might say, first, we've got the very low end, less than $75,000. Here's roughly what that includes. Then we have a group that falls somewhere generally between $75,000 and $150,000. Here's what that generally includes on the second level. The third level is generally between $150,000 and $250,000. And then the fourth level is the backyard oasis, looks like a theme park, and that's $250,000 and above. 4 levels. Most industries are 3 to 4 levels if you break it down. It's a very smart way to create cost content so that people can say, so this way you're able to say, as for us, we fall generally within level 2. And then you can explain why. Next one, explain lifetime cost versus initial price. This one is very important. Most companies haven't done this well. One of the mistakes that we did poorly with river pools at first, we explained what a fiberglass pool costs, but we didn't explain it over the course of 20 years, which is very, very important because if they just look at the price of a fiberglass pool when you install it versus a vinyl liner pool versus a concrete pool, that's not gonna help you understand lifetime cost. So that was a mistake that we made. Next one, show historical pricing trends. Very helpful, thoughtful, AI loves that junk. Next one, show financing as part of the conversation. Once again, if financing is in your industry, you should absolutely talk about it on your pricing page and get into it. Next one, show examples visually with corresponding price ranges. One of the best things that you can do is show maybe 3 or 4 images of projects or plans or whatever it is that helps them see, okay, I can see like something like this that looks like this would cost roughly this. List pricing related FAQs, discuss hidden costs, include charts, graphs, etc. Embed pricing videos on that page. Discuss without bias the question, is it really worth it? Oh, I love that one. And then finally, finish with an estimator on the page. The most logical CTA for a pricing page is an estimator tool. The most logical CTA for an estimator at the end is a now get a quote. An estimate is not the same as a quote. So we go from the education, where it gives them a range, then they go to the estimate, then from the estimate they get the quote, and then we can close the deal. I want you to stand up if you've got at least 10 of these on your pricing page right now. We've got 3 in the room. Give them a big round of applause. Great job. Now, most common cost and price content mistakes. You already heard me say it. Not giving any numbers at all. Walking around it. Stop it. Stop it. No mas. Not allowed within the endless customer system anymore. Next one, not showing a tiered system. So therefore it's confusing to me. Next one, not going beyond how much does it cost? In other words, the 20 other questions related to money, like financing, for example. Next one, not spending enough time talking about why companies are so cheap versus expensive, huge for value. And finally, not putting a pricing estimator on that page. Let me show you an example of a cost piece of content that really impressed me. So let me show you the list. This is really, really impressive. And so they've got payroll service pricing per process versus per employee per month. So every slide I'm about to show you is on one page of their website. So I want you to see how comprehensive this is. So the first thing they have for this article is a table of contents, which by the way is awesome for search, and all the little bots love this stuff. That's great. That's a good sign. Then we start to see the content. By the way, if you look at this content, just the way that it's written, I can tell that this content manager is very good because of the way they use bullet points, the way they use spacing, everything about it is super clean, really nice. Then we've got our first chart. So this was a great chart. It explains exactly what the graph means at the bottom of it. Then we've got another chart that is a comparison, an annual cost comparison. Again, this is the same page. Then we've got a massive cost comparison analysis between the two. Every single day, by the way, AI is taking more things beyond text and showing it in their search results. So you notice they're starting to show you video. They're starting to show you graphics. They're showing you way more stuff. This is great. Then they've got hidden costs and fees to watch for with actual numbers next to the hidden costs and fees. This is such a great B2B example right here. Then we've got, is this pricing model, which one is right for your business? Once again, super solid, very you-based. So, anybody that is like story brand oriented here, they're gonna look at that and say, well done. Then we've got essential questions to ask a payroll provider, and what's the result? The result is if you go to AI right now and you put in essentially what that title was, and this is never a guarantee. It's interesting that AI immediately takes everything from their article. And in fact, look at the second paragraph where it says lift HCM. Where we're going with this is the good UX is I want to show the sources real time. Is Works here, by the way? So Works, this is what's so cool because this is a really great subject in the payroll space. And I did this without knowing what I was going to find. And I found 2 endless customers implementers that are killing it with AI for this particular search. So if you look at the AI overview, it says according to Works, which is this company here. Then if you look at the pros, you've got Lyft. Then you've got Lyft and Works are both of the companies sourced on the side, which is great. So that's your Google result. Then if you continue down, the first 2 results in Google, the first one is Works, the second one is Lyft HCM. Both of these companies have done a phenomenal job. It's so impressive, and they are going above and beyond. If you went and looked at the Works pricing page, you're gonna see the same thing, is they do that checklist really, really well. I don't know if y'all are 15, but you are probably at least half. And so that's what we need to be. That's where we need to go. Give them a big round of applause. A really job well done. Now, I'm gonna jump to best. When it comes to the best, one of the things that you've always heard us talk about before, and you saw it in They Ask You Answer, was how at River Pools, we said, who are the best pool builders in Richmond, Virginia? Do y'all remember that one? And then we didn't put ourselves on the list. Because at the time, I felt like it was too self-serving. We have evolved our opinion on this matter, once again, because of AI, because AI will take your best of lists that you produce, and it will create its best of lists from your best of lists. And so how do we do this? Let's look at an example from Shasta. They've got this article right here, the top 6 pool builders in Arizona for 2025 ratings and reviews. All right, so this is classic Endless Customers 101. We've been teaching you all to do this for years before anybody ever realized they should be openly talking about the competition without saying anything negative about the competition. We were the ones that were saying it, right? So if we look at this, now we're gonna add an element to the way you do any best piece of content that could include yourself. And that is, you teach the market the criteria that you have used to come up with the content. This is important. In their case, what they've done is they said, okay, what are some broad criteria? Customer satisfaction, quality of work, design innovations, aftercare services, and then they've got some additional criteria for Arizona. Now, once they do that, they've got their company listed on the article. And so I would recommend that if you have these best ofs, that you go back and you modify them accordingly. What they do that's so powerful though on this one is look at it. They created a chart with the criteria. This is so smart. So it shows the number of permits these companies got, the number of the Google average reviews with these companies, the years in operation, in-house construction. So in many ways, this is like Steve Scheinkoff, isn't it? Because what they're doing is they're reporting data. They're not mixing in any opinions. They're not putting themselves in any type of imposition with anyone. This is just straight numbers. That's it. And because of that, now, if you go to ChatGPT and you say, who are the best pool builders in Arizona? Here's a classic example of an evolution of ChatGPT. They were not showing the Google map before. Now they're showing the map. Not only are they showing the map, but they're showing the local businesses. See, it's all evolving very, very fast, right? And if you look at the second business that's being shown, Shasta Pools. Now, if I broaden out that page, what you'll see from the side is these are, on the right side, Chat is showing us the sources that they used to come up with this. What's fascinating, another company that is also driving this is California Pools. California Pools is an endless customers implementer. And so you've got California and Shasta both. They're being sourced on the side by AI because they produce the signals that said to AI, this is who I can trust. The last one I want to show you is this one right here from Row Paint. So what Row did is they created a compare the best concrete coatings in the market of 2025. Once again, they've got a chart. You'll notice a trend. Our ability to explain things visually with charts and graphs has never been easier, and it's never been more important. I want you to go back to your content and say, could we integrate certain graphs and charts in? And then they go on to explain it. Their content looks super clean. They do a very, very clear job with it. And at the end of the content, they've got another great cost breakdown. How much do concrete coatings cost? They've got another chart. They've got a natural CTA that follows it. And then if you go to Google today, and this is as a result of them producing this piece of content, if you go to Google today and you search Best Concrete Coatings 2025, who are you going to see? You've got an AI overview that's coming off of Row, and then you've got Row is the first one that is sourced, and then as you get to your first result, once again, in terms of SERPs, now Row is there again. So they own the summary, they own the source, and they own number one. Row, great job. Give them a round of applause. Good job. So that's the big five. And it's so exciting.